Welcome to the channel. My name is Dan, and on this episode we have big plans for the 1960 Chevy we call Mr. Toad. Let's get into it. And here it is, my 1960 Chevy Apache known as Mr. Toad. And you might be asking, why do you call it that? Well, it's green, it's got crazy eyes, and I might have a little bit of motor mania. Now let's have a walk around this bad boy, because a little bit earlier I mentioned we had big plans for this thing, and we do. It's pretty far along as it is, but it's obviously far from finished. There's quite a bit of things that still need to be addressed, such as a bed floor. We have to keep our battery and our air compressor bits out of the weather. Plus, everything just gets covered in this, yeah. An incredibly stubborn power steering leak. This has only been sitting here for about 2 minutes. And the fact that once you're inside with the windows up, there's no getting out. So, over the next couple of videos, we'll definitely be fixing that leak, putting a bed floor in it, and installing the door cards finally, probably spraying them black. But all of that's pretty small potatoes. Let's look at some of the stuff we've already done. Under the hood we have a Gen 5 LT1. And from the factory, this guy makes 455 horsepower to the crank. We have a Holley high ram intake, 103mm throttle body, and really all the bolt-on goodies that one could want. Inside's a Texas Speed VVT3 cam with the VVT locked out, and we're pushing 500 horsepower to the wheels. And in this video, we're going to find out for sure, because we'll be taking this thing down to pros in Riviera Beach to have it dyno tested. But before we go down there, let's look at some of this other stuff. This is a Porterbuilt front drop member. This allows you to get the truck all the way on the ground without having to pancake the cross member or doing any of that other funky stuff that you see. Yeah, they're not free, but it's definitely worth the money. The quality of this piece is outstanding. You get tubular upper and lower control arms, modern ball joints, and it just bolts right in. Totally worth it. Plus, I'm running these Wilwood aluminum C10 hubs with sealed bearings. It's pretty cool. That is a Fox Body Mustang power steering rack that doubles as a power steering fluid fountain. The fittings are apparently proprietary, I guess. I have some on the way, and hopefully, after trying every other fitting imaginable, these will stop the leak. We'll find out soon enough. RideTech HQ shocks, yeah, they do the job. Fancy Pants custom drive shaft from the Drive Shaft shop. Big old bear brakes with 6-piston calipers in the front, Brembos in the rear, and the shrewd among you may have noticed that this portion of the frame isn't exactly factory. We chopped it at about there in order to install this Camaro subframe, which of course gives us independent rear suspension. And just like up front, we're on bags here in the rear, except that these are airlift air struts, which is essentially like an air coilover. My brother and I did this all in one night on the shop floor, and you may have missed that because we didn't record any of it. I keep getting asked if it's a kit, and I guess it could be a kit for the right price. Of course, we have the obligatory Dakota digital gauges and retro sound stereo, and of course, the #1 priority in South Florida, vintage air. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. The TR6060 transmission. And it's got a full stainless exhaust, and of course, all the metalwork on this truck has been done in shop. Brand new floors, undercoating, looks great underneath. We'll have to put it up on the lift to give you a look at that later on. So yeah, Mr. Toad is kind of a beast. I wish I could say that was all we needed to take care of though. The big brakes, without, that big fancy round thing behind the master cylinder, well, they kind of suck. So, we'll either be doing a hydro boost or a vacuum pump and a booster at some point, if there's room. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, our turn signals are currently Wi-Fi. That's an easy one though. Also, the true dual exhaust on the highway kind of sounds like a swarm of bees is following you at all times, but that might be a permanent issue. I can show you why that is once we can get under the truck. And of course, I'm talking like masculine, manly power lifter bees, not, not like your, So yeah, that's Mr. Toad for now. Let's get down there and see what this thing's made of. South, and this ride has proven that I definitely need some window felts, some door seals, got to get that new windshield in, and a cup holder wouldn't hurt, because I'm about to have some burning loins in the worst way possible. Wish me luck. So obviously we haven't made it to the dyno. They don't open for another couple hours, but how could you not love this? Jupiter, baby. And we've made it to the tuner. I'm not gonna film too much in here. I'll get as much as I can for you guys, but I will see you shortly. The guys here have guessed about 440 to the wheel, so we'll see if we overestimate it greatly here in a minute. First pull, we're at 341, 382. So, I don't know. .409, 344. It's looking better. So we got to 460. We ran out of fuel pump. He thinks it may have some more in it, but we're just gonna have to get a bigger pump and come back and give it another go. So, not bad. Not too bad. 460, 475 torque. We'll be back with a bigger pump. And there it is, 460 horsepower, 375 foot-pounds, not too bad. And more importantly, it just feels so much better, smoother, consistent, no weird throttle issues or anything like that. I mean, that first pull was 341 horsepower, so we picked up 120, and man, you could really feel it. Those guys down there at Pros, they're awesome. I mean, the name fits because they are pros. All of this stuff is just boilerplate to them, no big deal, you know, they're great. Yeah, unfortunately he wasn't able to push it any further because we were outrunning the fuel pump. I never would have thought we'd have that problem. I mean, it's not the worst problem to have, I guess. It's got a 340 liter per hour pump in it now. He's saying get it up to a 450, come back, find a little more power, and hopefully we'll see that 500 number. So that's what we're hoping for, and we'll be doing that soon. You guys stay tuned, subscribe, like, share with your friends, all that good stuff. We got a lot more content to bring to you, not just with Mr. Toad, but we got some cool projects happening in the shop. I still got to show you guys the shop, so stick around and we'll see you on the next one.